Welcome to Airborne on staugustine.com. I'm your host, Matt Jeffs, bringing interesting people from your world so you can stay dialed into your community and the folks who make it tick. We're here at Eclipse Recording Company as always, and we have a special guest, author Chris Berman from right here in St. Augustine. Chris, you're a science fiction writer, and we don't get many of those.
Okay.
Author, huh? Of
Yes.
science fiction? How does one decide to become an author of science fiction?
I loved science fiction even as a small boy. My mom got me into it because I was a poor reader in school. And it wasn't that I was a poor reader, I just didn't like what I was reading.
That's a very good point.
So in 2006, I got hit by a car. I had a close encounter with an SUV while I was on a bicycle.
Oh, goodness.
And compression fractured 3 vertebrae, so I'd had to sit up at night. And I had an idea for a science fiction story, which was this one, The Hive.
Right. The Hive, what's this about?
Well, The Hive is the story of the discovery of an alien probe in the solar system in 2018. And it's discovered by accident. There's a jointly built spacecraft between the U.S. and Russia that's on its way out to the outer planets. And by really astronomical odds, it passes a Hive probe that's been in orbit around our sun for over 100 years, studying us and snooping on us. And through that, we discover that it's actually transmitting information to a Hive fleet that will arrive 3 years later in 2021. And the more they discover about the Hive, the more they realize that they're a collective intelligence. They're not anything like human beings. They're like large African army ants.
Oh my! That's what the cover looks like. The cover art there, yeah. Very menacing.
Well, yeah, those are the soldiers. They have they're a hierarchy species where they have soldiers, workers, engineer castes, a queen, which is the fleet queen. She's in charge of running the fleet. I started writing it. I wrote the entire book in about 65 or 70 days. And I said to my wife, I said, I'm going to go get this published, not knowing anything about this. So, I went on websites and I looked up, how to write a query letter, how to write a synopsis, how to approach publishers and agents. And I just started sending out to everyone that would take electronic submissions. I'd send those out.
Right.
And I got a few back from what are called subsidy publishers or vanity press publishers, which they send you back this really nice letter, how much they like the book and everything else. And then you get to the bottom and just send us $7,000 and we'll produce
print it for you, yeah.
Well, I got an email in from a small publisher up in Maryland. The woman's name who owns the company is Jessica Tillis. And she sends me an email, says, I really like your book and I'd like to offer you a contract. So I wrote back to her. I said, oh, no, thanks. I'm not really interested in a subsidy publisher. So then she writes back to me and she says, no, we pay you. You don't pay us. So
a novel concept. That's
right.
Wonderful.
And that happened 2.5 months after I started the submission process. It happened just right around Christmas of 2007. So it was like my Christmas present.
Wow, that must have been astonishing, huh? You were probably on cloud 9 and probably a little nervous, too.
What's exciting about being an author is meeting the people, the readers who've bought my books, or people who send me emails and say, gee, I really loved your book. And
yeah.
I had some fella come up to me at a science fiction conference saying to me, he said, you brought me The Hive. He says, could you sign this for me? Oh, and I want to buy your new book.
Yeah.
And it was...
that's got to be gratifying.
It was great.
Yeah, that's terrific.
It's to know that the effort that you put into something is actually being appreciated.
I hope you can come back in the future as these new projects come to fruition and we can talk about them. Would you do that?
I'd love to do that.
It's really great to have you. Chris Berman, science fiction author. Really appreciate having you right here in St. Augustine.
Thank you very much.
You've been Airborne with Matt Jeffs on staugustine.com, bringing interesting people from your world so you can stay dialed into your community and the folks who make it tick. See you next time, everybody.
Airborne rocks.